Good morning, stamping friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lorri Heiling, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I've been stamping with Stampin' Up! For 16 years now, so I'm so glad you found me, and I hope you enjoy the project I'm going to share with you today. I want to do a little bit of advertising here. First of all, I have a Cozy Craft Retreat coming up. My friend and I, we put this together every year. This is our 7th year actually, and we are almost sold out. We have one spot left for the in-person, but we have plenty of kits left. So if you would like to snag that last spot, please let me know. First come, first serve. Or if you would like this in a kit to go form, just let me know. You can email me at my name, lorriheiling@gmail.com. My name is spelled LORRIHEILING@gmail.com. And I would be happy to put you down for one. And I will send a link to you so that you can sign up. It's going to be so much fun. And we just really look forward to this. So we're already in the planning stages, and we would love to have you join us. The other thing I want to remind you is the mini catalog is soon to be over with. On June 30th, all those products are going to be gone. They may carry over some of those into the next holiday, but you're going to want to grab the things that are going to be gone for good, and many of them are on sale up to 50% off. So make sure you check out my Stampin' Up! Store, and you can click on sale items, and then you can get those on sale. So be sure to do that before the end of the month. And those are while supplies last. So if there's something you're eyeing, you might not want to wait until the end of the month because they might be gone. All right, I'm going to turn my camera around and share with you one last graduation project, and then we'll move on to other things. But I hope you enjoy it because graduation season is soon to be over. But this little project, there's one part of it that you can use for the rest of your life. I'm going to teach you how to make any size graduation cap. So you can just stick that on any type of card you do, whether you just have a sentiment with congratulations or a thanks or a little animal that needs a graduation hat. It'll be easy for you to reproduce. All right, hang tight and let's get started. For today's project, I'm going to be using Sweet Songbirds. This actually comes as a bundle, and this cute little punch comes along with it, and you can save 10% if you order these together. And I've had this for a little bit now, and I've been anxious to use it. And the project I want to show you is probably going to be my last and final graduation card. So I'm going to sneak one more in. And I thought this card might be cute. Now, I lucked out because the paper that I'm going to use is called Sun Prints. And look at what the colors are on this palette of paper. We have white and gray granite, night of navy, Pacific Point, and starry sky, which is a new in color. And my son Braden's school colors are navy and gray. So how perfect was that? Stampin' Up! Was so sweet to make a DSP pack to coordinate with my son's graduation. I'm sure they took that into consideration. But let me get started with what we're going to make today. And even though I've already given him his card, I might save this for next year because a lot of his friends are going to be graduating then. All right, so the basic cardstock for the base of the card is going to be gray granite, and this is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, and then I just scored it in half on the long side, and we're just going to fold that. And I don't have my bone folder handy, but I usually like to take that and crease it. Oh, I was working on another project, so it's in the other room. So I'll just use my fingernails this time. And then we're going to make a few layers on this. The next layer will be that coordinating color of Night of Navy. And I cut this just 1/8 inch smaller than the card front, which is going to be 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then I'm going to get my Seal Plus. This is my favorite adhesive to use. It just comes off a little bit easier than the other one. And so that's the one I've chosen. And it's a really tight fit. Now, if you like a more of a 1/4 inch border, then cut a little bit more off, maybe an 1/8 inch more off of the Night of Navy, but I like the tight fit. All right, then from the Sun Prints paper, I'm going to use this one because I think it kind of looks like a sky. Do you see how it kind of looks like clouds back there? And then we're just going to adhere this. I'm not going to put dimensionals on this because I don't want this card to get too thick. Whoops, forget that. That's my scrap piece. Let me grab the correct piece. This is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. That's a better fit. Now I have tape on my scrap, which we're eventually going to be using, but that's how TV goes. Sometimes there's little mix-ups along the way. All right, let's set this to the side, and we're going to work on the rest of the card. Now, let's see. Let's start with this little circle. I just used a basic white piece of cardstock, and you know what? I might as well keep this right by my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and not tucked away, because I keep grabbing it, and for how many times I run for it, I could just reach for it right by there because I use it that often. This is called Stylish Shapes dies, and look at all these sweet little dies that you have. Squares and circles and banners are really the most commonly used shapes, I think. And the one that I reach for is the second to the largest one, and that's the size that I used for here. So I just wanted to point that out, and I love it because it has that little stitching that adds just a little more detail to it. Now the next thing, I'm going to just put paper under here so I don't get ink on my background, and we're going to use soft suede ink, and we're going to grab the little branch stamp. Now when you use a more solid photopolymer, you're going to want to use your little foam pad underneath it. I tend to use foam pad whenever there's more of a solid image, like the leaves are more of a solid, but if it's a lined image, you really don't need to. Sometimes actually it stamps better when you don't use this with, you know, just a fine line, but for anything that has you know, more of a solid image, I really recommend using that foam pad. So just ink that up, and then I am going to place it underneath the foam pad because we will be off the page a little bit on here. All right, so just make a little, like, we'll go over as far, well, you can tell I'm kind of winging it here. That looks about right. And we're going to keep the soft suede ink out and put these away. And now we're going to stamp on crumb cake paper, and I do want to make a nest. Now the theory is this little birdie is going to be kind of spreading his wings because he's graduating and going to fly out of the nest. In other words, he is going to make us an empty nester. Get it? Oh boy. All right, now we'll just trim this. There is not a die or a punch for this, but you know what? It's so easy to fussy cut because it's very simple lines here. So just cut around that as close as you can. And this little nest is going to go in the on the branch that we just made. However, I just realized that, get this back here, I forgot to put the leaves on, and I should have done that while I had all this set up, but you can see it didn't take long to reset it up. I like Granny Apple Green because it's a nice bright green, and all you have to do to line this up with the branch that you just stamped is look at where the leaves come together, and you want those areas to line up with the ends of the branch like that. Doesn't have to be perfect, and it's going to be stamped off a little bit again. All right, now I think we're ready to adhere the little nest to the branch, and we're going to make this go off the page a little bit because the circle's smaller, but that was on purpose. And we are going to use a dimensional, and we're going to use a large dimensional, and we're only going to put 1 or 2 on it. You don't need to line this thing up. And remember, we are going to be cutting off part of this because it's going to be off the page. So don't put it all the way on the left side because it will be trimmed. All right, now this little nest is going to be empty, so it doesn't really matter where it goes. I'll put it right about there. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is trim. Well, actually, let's see where it falls on the card. Maybe we don't have to trim it all off. Depending on where we put it, maybe we can leave it on. I was going to hike it over here, but you know, you could leave it like that. I think I'm going to trim it off though. You know what? Like that. All right, so let's take our scissors again, and I'm just going to follow the circle that was already die cut like that. And that makes its own little pattern there. Just follow that line like that. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is build the bird. So let's grab, we're going to use punches. You can stamp it. There's a stamp that lines up with this, but I'm choosing to do the easier way, and we are just going to punch it. So I am making him a blue bird, and so I'm going to use Night of Navy for my bird. And I have that cardstock here, and we're going to punch his body out. There'll be a lot of pieces that fall out of this, you'll see. So we want the body, and we also want, we're going to make 2 wings. So we'll do both of these here, 1 and 2. And it's easiest if you start throwing away the pieces that you don't want, because sometimes these will start to look like they're supposed to be part of the bird. Then we're gonna make a little beak, and we'll use Daffodil Delight for that. Looks like a tiny little heart. And then we're gonna use, let's see, we're gonna make his breast, we're gonna make that gray, and I'm gonna choose the Designer Series paper. And then I'm choosing this one because it's just kind of very subtle and random. I think actually if you look close, it's words, but you can barely see them. So I don't even think you'll know that. There's not really a right or wrong side, so, or upside down, because really you can't even read the words. So just punch that. There we go. Now the next part we're gonna do is start adhering it together. And for this, you're gonna want your green glue. This is multi-purpose liquid glue. And I'm pretty sure I'm almost out of this. Let me see if I can squeak. Oh, I can squeak some out. All right. All right, we'll put this right about here for his breast. And then for the wings, we want him to look like he's taking flight because this is graduation. So let's put one kind of going down like that. And then this one, we are going to put kind of going up in the air. And I'm going to put these mini dimensionals behind these. Just a little bit peeking out, so it looks like he's kind of lifting. All right, now we're going to add his eyes. And for his eyes, we're going to use the matte black dots. And your pick tool is going to be handy, and take the smallest dot to use for his eyes. And we're going to kind of place them closer together than they show on the graphic of it. I like eyes a little bit closer set anyway. All right, and we're using black because I think if we used blue, the blue dots that came in the end colors, they would kind of blend in a little bit too much. And then we'll just put a tiny little dot of glue to put his little beak on there. There we go, he's coming together. You can use the opposite end to kind of place it. All right, now the next part, and this is going to be a fun little hint and treat for you because you can use this many, many times. I'm going to teach you how to make a graduation hat without using a punch or a die, and it's just made from scrap paper, first of all. So you are going to take I think this is 1 inch by 1.5. Let me double check. 1.5 by 1 inch. And what you're going to do is fold it in half. This is so tiny to work with, but believe me, it'll work. And then fold it in half again, so it's really, really small, like this. And I'm going to make a dot on here just so you remember. This is where all of the folds come together. So I'll just make a dot there so you don't mix that up. All right, let me get my... Now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to take our paper snips and trim this. And the way we're going to trim is we're just going to go from corner to corner. However, you have to make sure that all the folds come together in the bottom left corner. It's kind of like when you cut out a snowflake or a snowman. If you fold it wrong and cut wrong, they're all going to be like scraps that fall all over the place. So that's the trick, corner to corner like that. Throw these away that pop off. And this is going to be your parallelogram that will be perfect and symmetrical that we are going to use to make the... this one, I guess I didn't quite go to the point, but I can fix that in the next part. Then, do you see how that works? And this is going to make the graduation cap. A lot of people think, oh, I need a pattern for this. But you can make this any size you want, depending on what you want to stick it on. So I just kind of made this up based on how big the bird was. But if you need it smaller for a smaller animal or a larger for a larger animal, whatever you want to put it on, then, you know, it's so easy. You just cut your little paper bigger and then make that same pattern. So now what I'm going to do, and you know what, I'm even going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back just so it doesn't slide around, but we want to be able to easily take it off. So just put a straight side on a straight side, and then it'll be easier to cut. All right, now we're just going to follow our pattern like this. 1, 2, it's only 3 cuts, and this is where our points are going to get more pointed. You see I kind of cut off that one, but it's no worries. There we go, and this is all scrap. All right, take this off. This served its purpose. Actually, well, it's kind of sticking, but I can use that as a backside if it sticks too much to your paper. All right, there it is. Now we're gonna make one more, and this I don't even need a pattern for, and I have to remeasure this to see what the size is. This is basic black, and this is 7/8 by 5/8. Teeny tiny little rectangle. All you're gonna do is curve a very slight curve on the bottom side, and this is gonna kind of make the base of the hat. It does not have to be perfect. Now we're gonna place this, the mortar part of his hat, on the base. So just put a little dimensional back there, and then place this on, and I went almost down so the point is hitting the other side, maybe not quite down all the way, just up a tiny bit like that. Then we can put this on the little birdie like this, and isn't that cute? Oh my gosh, it's so cute. He looks like he's leaving the nest, just like I said. But we have to put some sort of little doodad on here to make it look like he has a graduation tassel. So what I came up with is I'm going to use my Baker's Twine again. Remember, I use this all the time. Baker's Twine Essentials Pack. At first when I got this, I thought I'll never use all these, and look at my gray's almost gone. But that's what we'll use. And we're only going to make this 3 strands long because we don't want it to be too large. Otherwise our little dot is not going to stay on the top. So that's wrapped once, twice, 3 times. One more. Okay. Then we're going to snip that off. All right, and then we're going to, let me see. I don't know how long we should make this. All right, now we're going to put that little matte black dot, but we're going to use the largest one this time, and that way it'll cover up some of these ends here. Right, like that. All right, and then if you want, you can kind of push these ends in, but you can kind of play with that. And I think it's a little bit long, so we're going to trim it down just a little bit. And let's see, just so the ends are all the same length there. That looks better. All right, now we're ready to put this little hat on our bird. This time I think I'm going to use 1 large dimensional so it doesn't wiggle around so much. And like I said, remember, you can use this hat for almost anything. You can even put it on a letter like thanks, or just put it on the corner of the sentiment that you're doing. There's a lot of ways you can use just that little graduation hat that can make almost any stamp set turn into a graduation card. Okay, we'll go like that. Oh, it fits perfect. All right, now we need to put him on the tree, on this little tree thing, but we're gonna have him flying, remember, he's gonna be in flight. So let's first adhere this, and do I dare add more dimensionals to this? I guess if we have to stick a second stamp on it, so be it. I like to make different levels when I make cards, and so you can see different dimensions, but you wouldn't have to do this if you don't want to. All right, let's put it right about here. And remember, we want the bird to take flight. So we're gonna make him, you can make him just going out. You can make him all the way up in the air. You can make him go wherever you want. So I don't know, I'm gonna put him kind of on the white so it's offset a little bit. And again, I'm gonna add more dimensionals on the back here. Oh man, this is gonna need 4 stamps, you guys. I'm just kidding. We had a great graduation, by the way, but my little tagline is fun, fun, glad it's done, D-U-N. I say that all the time because I love gearing up for big things, but we had 2 receptions for our son, one in Minnesota and one in Arizona, and we are done. But my friend, like I told you in my last video, she said, you're not technically an empty nester till they sleep somewhere else. So I guess college is going to be that time. All right, now we just need to add a little sentiment on here. So I'm going to take that scrap that I put glue on the back because I thought that was the piece that went there, and it'll probably stick to everything, but I'm going to stamp. First, what I'm going to do is take the cloud punch. This is just one I had in my stash. I'm going to pick a part that is not covered with tape. And it's just going to be kind of monochromatic because it's really going to blend into the background. And then I'm going to take, actually I'm going to take black ink. I'll use Memento Black because I really want this to stand out, and it's going to have to be black. I think Night of Navy might blend in too much. And the sentiment says, you've got something to celebrate, which is perfect for graduation. All right, and then we're going to put this on. I don't know, do we dare do dimensionals again? Probably. My mess is getting so big here, I can't even find, here they are. Oh man, I need to snap a shot of what it looks like in the background. And I think, am I going to be cutting part of it off? I think we can fit the whole thing on. This will be the finishing touch here. And it's all right that it overlaps a little bit. All right, now for the inside, I'm just going to take basic white. This is 5 1/4 by 4 inches, and it's just going to be very simple because when I send cards, I like to have my whole family sign them, and so I'm going to leave a lot of space for signing because I find sometimes when I fill the inside too much, then there's not room to stamp. So for the inside, I'm just going to use Night of Navy. I'm just going to stamp congratulations. Look at how tiny this is. Now you could add more if you want to, you know, to kind of doll it up in the middle, but like I said, I just need more writing room because there's 3 left at home here and we will all be signing these. So then grab your adhesive and just adhere that in the inside of your card. And then you can even add a gift card. The tradition is just to send cash or gift card, so you can easily attach that over on this side or just slip it in there. Well, I hope you like our little graduation card. Thank you so much for joining me. And if there's any products that you might be interested in, please use the host code when you order from my Stampin' Up! Store. And also, if your order is over $35, you will qualify for Creative You. Creative You means that you'll get 3 free projects in the mail. They come in kit form. They won't be assembled, but I will also email you a PDF, and that can help you put them together. If you don't have the stamps that I use, feel free to substitute your own, or you may want to order what I show you the next time, and then you can make them exactly as I did. But thank you again for supporting my business, and I appreciate your order, and I look forward to seeing you next time. I do my videos on Tuesday mornings at 9 o'clock Arizona time. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.